when we're in this position here like this, our opponent wants to swim their arms underneath our arms so they can start to get into that position, and now they're starting to dominate the grip fight. Okay, so when we feel them swim their arm under, what we're going to do is as he goes to swim, he's pummeling through, I'm going to lift enough space that I can come over and then pin it onto his stomach. So I'm just letting him do what he wants to do basically, and as I sort of give enough reaction that he really has to go, boom, and then I'm here. So I'm just trapping it and I'm trying to pin it straight to his gut. As soon as I've got one hand, my other hand comes off and I'm going to double team that wrist and push that wrist down into his stomach. Okay, I want to have 2-on-1. My one arm might be weaker than his, my two should hopefully be stronger. Okay, now I know that Young can't really attack me on this side. So now I'm going to step up on that side leg, because I know he can't reach for it. If I stand here, he can reach underneath and he can start to attack there. Okay, so as soon as he swims in, he swims his hand through, he's trying to get his position back, I go 1, 2, step. Now that I'm in this position here, I'm going to pivot so I'm side onto Young, basically at the bottom of a lunge. Makes it much easier to stand up than if you're still facing your opponent. Because when I'm facing him here, I've got this equal distribution of weight in my legs. Very hard to get off my knee and onto my foot when there's weight on that leg. Okay? Whereas when I turn this way, I can lean all of my weight onto this knee and then just shift just a little into my toe, and now I can stand up really easily. Okay? As soon as I stand up here, I'm going to pull this arm and I'm going to stand as tall as I can. Okay? Really emphasize it. Now from here, I'm going to switch, and if their guard's still closed, I'm going to shake, 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 shake. Come down and staple the leg. Cross face, just like we were doing before. Get a deep cross face, pull him in. Get my underhook. And now from this position here again, I can pass to the side or straight across into the mount. If we end up in the mount, just stretch out to one side here. So when you've got that cross face, that side's weak. So we stretch our weight the other way, so now Young hopefully can't bridge me that way where this is compromised. Okay. So again. So he tries to pummel an arm in. I let him enough that I can pin it. 1, 2. Posturing up. Stand on that side. Okay, shift. Try and come up side on. Now stand really tall here. Really pull him up. Okay, now I'm going to go to the cross grip, shake, 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 shake. Staple that leg. Now, this little detail here, I don't know if everyone can see this. If you can be active with your foot here underneath their shin, this makes a really big detail. Okay, so this little bit here of holding this stops him from getting his toes on the ground. If I pin this, he can still get his foot on the ground and he can maybe start to move his hip off that foot. So when I come down, I staple, I try and keep his leg in the air. Because now I can get my cross face, now I can even cradle underneath the leg. Very hard for Young to move with both his feet in the air. Okay, and then I can pass from there, or again I can come into my side control and pass here. So once more. I'm blocking the biceps, Young swims in, pin, pin, step and pivot. I come up tall, shake, 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 shake. Pin the knee on the floor, I'm keeping his foot off the ground with my foot. Cross face deep, pull him in, underhook, slide through into my mounted position here. That one. I've got Young in this position here. Again, I'm resting now. I'm going to do the same thing where I start to posture up. Very, very common, especially if someone's not as big as you, is they bail out. They're not going to try and keep their closed guard. They're going to try and play open guard instead. So when I get to this position here, Young tries to swim an arm through. I catch it. I pin it. As I start to come up here, he's going to give up a lot of the time. Okay, in this position here. So depending on what leg configuration we have here, that's going to kind of dictate how we go into our leg locking positions. So if he's got a hold of this ankle, it's going to have to sort of change things a little bit, where I'm going to go from here. It doesn't matter too much because the weak point of this grip is in this direction, and that's kind of where I want to take my leg anyway, so I'm not super concerned. He wouldn't do this if you just turn it down the other way, like that. Like that. Now the weak point is kind of over near Dave, so I have to
we're always going about the open height of the grips. So here it's not the end of the world. If you really feel like your foot is stuck here, you might have to try and kick out and then reset. Okay? But as I was saying, from this position here, my foot wants to go the direction that I'm going to break the grip anyway, so I'm not super fussed about it. Okay? So from here, my opposite leg. So if he's grabbing that one, I'm just going to keep that one where it is. I'm going to attack the same side leg. My opposite side is going to come through and it's going to go right under his butt cheek, so my feet temporarily are going to be pretty close. Okay, so I've opened up his guard, he's bailed out, I'm controlling the legs, I'm going to step in, and now as I start to wrap around the ankle, my other hand's going to come just above his knee line. I'm going to sit, and then this leg here is the one that's going to go onto his hip. Okay, remember, especially if it's IBJJF, the toes pointing out, can't be across the center line. So it has to be on the hip and it has to be turned out. Okay, I've got my position here. Now again, if he was hanging on to that, he's not going to stop me doing this. That's not the strength of where his grip is, okay? So that shouldn't be an issue. My other foot's nice and tight, and I've got this initially here to stop Young from kicking his leg back. I want to stop him getting his knee to his chest. So if he tries to pull his leg free, he's just trying to hang on and keep that knee line controlled. Get to my position here. So now from here, this is where a lot of people stuff up. I'm just going to sit back a little bit. They go too deep here, like this. So you're on the soft part of your arm, not the blade of your arm here, like that. And then a big thing that people do a lot is they forget to even use their arm. So they start to arch their body, but their arm does this. And you're losing all of this strength on the leg. Okay? So when you get to this position here, think about going as shallow as you can on their Achilles. Go right down to where you catch their heel. The problem when you're shallow is you've got a bit more of a space over here. People go deep because they think, I need to control the leg, he's going to slip his leg free. So they go really deep like this. But now there's no pressure, it's very soft. I go shallow, but I take the space away by pinning my wrist, my elbow to my ribs. Okay, so I'm doing this in here, taking that away. At the same time I'm doing that, I'm going to try and get good posture. So don't want to think about sitting like this. Imagine you're deadlifting. You're not going to deadlift like I am right this. Okay? You're going to sit up. Okay? So I'm going to, sort of three things happening at once. Elbow is coming back here. Good posture. And then the third thing is my thumb is basically trying to go over my own shoulder. So again, a lot of people, they start to arch and there's nothing happening here. Okay? What I want to do is I want to try and take this space away like I'm doing a guillotine. Okay, so I've wrapped the leg, shallow. I hold my own hand exactly like a guillotine here. I'm in this position. I'm posturing up, I'm tucking my elbow, and I'm pulling up all in one go. Okay, so I'm going here. Now if nothing happens, I'm going to fall onto my forehead here. Now the more I fall onto my side, the more I start to twist Young's foot. It's still a straight foot lock, but I start to get some lateral pressure in here as well. So there's less chance of him trying to tough it out if he feels like his actual foot's going to pop. If he thinks it's just an Achilles lock, he might just go, nah, this is hurting, but there's nothing to break, I'll be okay. The more I can start to get his foot to turn like a toe hold, the more chance there is that something's actually going to break. Okay, so when I fall down to the side, I won't do all of these steps so I can actually fall. So as I fall in this position here, especially when I've got that elbow tucked in tight, now I'm going to keep my forehead on the floor and I'm going to arch back. Okay, again, the idea is we're taking his foot and we're putting it into this toe hold type position here, but it's still a straight foot lock. Okay, so this is legal at all belts. Okay?
When it actually breaks, where would you use it?
In here. So this sort of anterior lateral cardiac ankle here.
Is that
or the actual foot.
Is that really bad?
Yeah, it's not great, but better than your ACL going. Yeah, it's all comparative, so I'll just do ones from the top. I'd rather it not happen, but you know, it could be worse. So he swims in, trap, trap. As I stand, Young now bails out. Okay, so I just make sure he can't hook both of my legs. He's got one, so that's where you see my other leg comes out and I'm controlling. Because if he can hook behind this leg, well now he can maybe sweep me over because he's got both of them controlled. So as soon as he gets one, you want to start thinking to yourself, shit, I need to free my other leg. Okay, now from this position here, I'm going to wrap, put my foot behind his butt, trap his knee, come here. As soon as I've got this position here, shallow, posture, start to put it on. If he lets you, Head touches the mat, and now I keep my head at the mat, and I go back. So do it once in a sort of a normal speed. Here, Young swims in. I come up. And then I finish on foot.